This is Talk is Sheep, the official podcast of the Wild Sheep Society BC, brought to you by Sitka Game. Come along as we bring conversations that matter to you into the high alpine. Greg frickin' Rensmag, brother, how's it going?
I'm super disappointed, Kyle. You've shaved your beard off. No. How are you?
You're the first to notice it. So the wife didn't notice it, the kids didn't notice it, nobody noticed it. So hey, cool, buddy. Thanks. That at least somebody noticed it. So.
Well, I guess that means I care.
Or I'm getting old and nobody looks at me anymore except for Greg. So we don't want to make it weird or anything.
That derailed quickly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, straight into the ditch, right? Episode 152, none other than Thomas the Legend Madsen. And this was a cool one. He's one of those, let's call him, what's the proper terminology? Unsung hero. One of those guys, the Colin Peters of the world, the guys that are in the background working day in and day out for conservation, wildlife, and really care about the mission. And they're not limelight guys. They're not out there saying, look at me. And I'm not saying other people are doing that, but truly Tom is one of those guys that gives a shit, does a lot of good things for wildlife in general. And not just wild sheep. He sits on our projects committee, does a bunch of stuff, but he's really involved with Mission Rod and Gun Club. And they're doing some fantastic work too. We've had the opportunity to partner with them on some stuff. And anyway, it's awesome to talk to these guys that are in the trenches day in and day out, doing some fantastic things, and got some great opinions too. I like the way this guy thinks.
Yeah, well, he's one of those guys that once you get him going, he shows up at all the counts or as many as he can, and once you get him going on conservation and what can change, or just hunting, fishing, and outdoors in general, he doesn't stop, and he's always got his mind on the hot topics. He knows what's going on for the most part, and the nice thing about him is he's a great advocate for it, and he's always sharing with whoever he can, whether it's at work or at the club, and he pushes our mission greatly. Like he's opening the doors for us, and at Mission he got what. Last year he kicked off, they did the wild game dinner, and he was behind that, and auction and proceeds came to us, and Mission, we split them, and it was opening the door there for us. And it's a tough market to crack for wild sheep down in Lower Mainland because there are no sheep. So
yeah. We during COVID we held coming right out of COVID we held that Kamloops pub night. And we did a horn aging event, and Bill Jex was down. It was a fun night, sold tickets to it, and Thomas came up for that. He brought Peter Bucher. Peter's another guy really involved with Mission, and he's one of our life members, and just a fantastic guy. He's killed a couple of sheep. We talk about him on this podcast. And two great guys, they're always there to support, and just there smiling and just giving a shit about wild sheep, and love guys like that. That's the heart and soul of the Wild Sheep Society BC, and it's pretty cool, man. I love it.
Yeah, they're staples at all the events, and you might not even know it. That's the neat thing about them. They're never in your face. They don't let you. They know it. They're just there doing the work and making things happen, and showing up at projects, showing up at events, and supporting what we do. And we love people like that, and they are the lifeblood of our membership.
Yeah. Speaking of which, there is a membership drive going on right now, and you just, we had a quick chat about that. And this is a really cool opportunity. So we've got an opportunity. Somebody's going to go to Spain, and they're going to go hunt mouflon. And this was a full donation given to us from a great outfitter out of Spain, and one of our life members purchased it. And he couldn't go. He had a conflict. He tried to move it, and it just wasn't working out. And he came to us and said, "Can you guys use it?" He goes, "I'm happy to donate it back." And we're like, "Really?" And we talked to the outfitter. The outfitter was good with it. So we've got this full donation. It's a mouflon hunt in Spain. It's a great opportunity. One of our directors, Robin Rutledge, hunted with this guy a couple of years ago. Him and Lindsay went over. They had a fantastic hunt. Spoke really highly of it. So that's the first prize, and then there's two other prizes. We're giving away some taxidermy credit. and also a what was our third item? A pair of Schnee's boots. So Michael was up here for our show with Schnee's, and they generously donated a set of, I think it's a set of their granite boots. It's a great product. I just bought a set of Schnee's myself this past year. I was gonna run them on my fall hunt, but I didn't quite get them broken in time. But anyway, a great membership promotion. Everyone's eligible. Buy a membership, 1 year, 3 year, upgrade to Life, upgrade to Monarch. Everybody's included. The more you buy, the more you win. And if you're thinking about joining as a member, there's never been a better time because the prize package is bloody nice.
Well, and the odds on winning this are better than any raffle you can think of. We're not going to get 10,000 members from it, so it's $60. Yeah. That's your raffle ticket, so to speak, for a mouflon hunt. Join the society, see what we do.
Yeah. Support the cause, and you get a ticket in. And like you said, we've got 1,500 members. Do the math. It's your chances are 1 in dozens / hundreds, not 1 in thousands for sure. There's no way. So, good point, Greg. I think I'm gonna go upgrade right now, but I have a feeling they're not gonna let me win.
I'm not hoping for myself, but the kids may have upgraded recently, so.
Yeah,
a couple of entries there.
So there we go. Yeah, so Connor bought his. Sorry, am I allowed to say your kid's name?
You can say that.
Sorry. Anyway, your son bought his membership through Life membership through our Jurassic Classic raffle or our online auction, the Jurassic online auction, and then you're like, well. Connor's got one. I got to buy one for my daughter now, right? So pretty cool. That was a 2-for-1. It was an expensive purchase with Connor grabbing his, right?
Oh, Mr. Serby was joking with me. He goes, "Oh, you cheap prick! You saved $50 on Connor's Life membership." And it's like, oh no, there's going to be another 1,000 coming quickly. I can't just buy one Life. That wouldn't sit well at the home.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool. We talked about the Grizzly Bear Framework. Again, please, if you're listening and you haven't done it, just go online and fill that out. There's lots of stuff on our website, wildsheepsociety.com. Click on the Act Now button. It's right on our homepage. Just go over there, and there's links to the Grizzly Bear Stewardship Framework. It's really important that you engage on this. Advocate for the things that are important to you. We give you some guidelines and ideas on there. You don't have to follow our opinion. Just fill the bloody thing out. At the very least, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably care about science-based wildlife management. We advocate for that in there. If that's all you tell them you want to see, if you want to see dedicated funding for grizzly bears, don't even mention the hunt. We don't care. But at least stand up for some of the stuff that is hunter conservationists we care about. And super easy to do. Takes 15 minutes. And like I said, there's some cheat sheets there if you need some ideas or tips. But just don't give it the easy pass. Just take the time. If you want to do something for wildlife in British Columbia, just do that. That's a minimum, and I think it's pretty basic. So please
don't sleep on it.
And if you want help, email me directly, kstelter@wildsheepsociety.com. I've got a cheat sheet for you. You can copy and paste, and it could take you 2 minutes. Not suggesting you do that. But if it helps you and you want to do it, at least you've done it. I've got a document that it's copy and pastable, and I'll make it easy for you. So. Anything else, buddy? What are we missing?
Oh, we're still running the Danny Strong raffle, which is just the incredible Platinum Sheep Hunter package. So full of stuff, we don't even have time to talk about it. You need to check it out.
Okay, I do have to actually talk about this one, and I'm not going to talk about all the stuff in there. There's $30,000 worth of prizes there, and there's only $100,000 worth of tickets, and we've only sold $30,000 worth. So odds are incredibly good. It only runs for another 6 weeks. We're going to draw it early November. But here's the important part is this is an emotional raffle for everyone involved. One of our Monarch members, Dennis Cabana, and his wife, Teresa, lost their daughter this past year. Danielle was a young girl. She got sick and passed away very suddenly, very tragically. She was Dennis's little hunting partner. Dennis and Teresa do a ton of work for the Wild Sheep Society BC. They're our chef for the Jurassic Classic. Danielle was following in Dennis's footsteps, really passionate about the outdoors. And this was a huge loss to a family that's part of our Wild Sheep family. When this happened, another one of our Monarch members, Nolan Wanup, heard about it, and he was absolutely gobsmacked. He was absolutely devastated. Nolan's like, we're doing something. Nolan went out and he pulled out all the heavy guns. Every single person he knew that had some means behind them, he got donations, begged, borrowed, and stealed. He didn't steal, and he probably didn't beg, but he talked really nicely to them and got all these donations. And Nolan put this together. He put this package together, $30,000 worth of gear. Went to Omer at Precision Optics, and Omer said, "Yeah." Omer gave him stuff at cost, I think, but certainly there's skin in the game from tons of people. Nolan himself personally, Precision Optics, to put this package together. What we're going to do is we're going to raffle this off, and the proceeds from this raffle are going to go to a Monarch membership for Danielle. Now, she's already been upgraded to a Platinum Monarch membership, which is a $25,000 level. If we hit 100,000 in sales, she's going to get our new level of Monarch membership, which doesn't even exist yet. We don't need to create it because it doesn't exist. But our goal is hit 100 grand in sales, and it's going to go to a Monarch membership. Now, our Monarch membership program, that money doesn't go to the Cabana family. It goes to the Wild Sheep Society BC for our conservation efforts. Now, the key takeaway here is what it's done is it's created a legacy for Danielle. Danielle's name will be forever enshrined as a Platinum Monarch member of the Wild Sheep Society BC in perpetuity. But if we can make that $100,000 level, we'll take her to that next level, we'll create a new level of Monarch membership. She'll be number one on that list for the eternity. So we've memorialized this young girl. We're supporting the wild sheep conservation efforts. Danielle and Teresa will decide where that money can be directed, and that money can be directed to a number of our initiatives and projects. So, they will decide where that money goes, but it will go to Northern Burns. It will go to disease. It will go to One Campfire. It will go to one of our initiatives within British Columbia. And Dennis has already reached out and said, he wants it to go to projects. And we also want to create a youth program moving forward as well. So all these things are in its infancy. The key takeaway is you can get these raffles now. Go to our website, click on the raffle button, get over there and buy some tickets. And that supports this Monarch membership, this Danny Strong raffle. And the cool thing is somebody's going to win 30 grand worth. If you wanted a sheep hunting kit, Nolan said, "I want the best of the best." He was absolutely imperative. And he went shopping with Omer, and he said, so there's a Nexus rifle from Gunworks on there. There's Stone Glacier gear. There's Kifaru packs. The list is endless. It's not endless, but it's pretty darn long, and it's pretty darn good. So anyway, I've talked a lot, haven't I, Greg? I'm sorry, buddy.
You're long-winded tonight, but I think that's no better time to roll into episode 152 with the man himself, Mr. Thomas Madsen.
This episode is sponsored by our conservation partner, Frontiersman Gear. Thank you, Sitka Gear and Frontiersman Gear, for investing in healthy wildlife and sustainable ecosystems. Good evening, Mr. Thomas Madsen. Good to see you. Looks like you, what's that above your head?
Moose.
Is that a moose?
Yeah, it's a moose we shot 3 years ago on a family hunting trip, the wife and I.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was a monster mule deer that had some...
No, it's just a little baby moose.
Nice. So I see you're having a cold one there. Greg cracked a training beer. He's going in the mountains here in 3 days. What are you sucking on there tonight?
I got a 12-year-old Scotch tonight, so it's pretty tasty.
Oh, yeah. What, a Glenlivet, or what is it?
Oh, it's an Albador or something like that, I believe it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Good little Chadwick action going on here. Not to make a scene or anything, but
Mr. Fancy Pants here.
Speaking of which, Greg, what's our next whiskey that's coming out?
I don't know. Have we established what's coming out next?
No, I don't think we have. So we're gonna have to get on that. So yeah.
Maybe little dolls have been neglected, so we might have to roll with that somehow.
Seems appropriate for sure.
Attention, Sheeny Shine.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Well, Thomas, awesome to have you on the show. You do so much for conservation, so much for wild sheep, so much for advocacy of all the things that we all love. But you're also the strong, silent type. You're the guy that's not always in the limelight. So let's tell our listeners a little bit who the hell is Thomas Madsen and why he's on Talk is Sheep tonight.
Well, first off, I want to thank you guys for inviting me. I was kind of surprised when Greg invited me and said, I'm one chromosome away from Sean Strickland. So I'm pretty impressed that you actually brought me on here. I'm Tom Madsen. I live in Mission, BC. I've been a hunter all my life. My dad got me into it at a young age. About 7 or 8 years ago, Rob Weeks actually introduced me into Sheep Society. And then I was like, well, what's this? This is interesting. What's conservation? I had no idea about it and started learning more about it. And then now I've become involved with you guys. Plumber, live in Mission. And what am I? Wildlife chair at the Mission Rod and Gun Club. And I don't really know what to tell you. Sit in the background and try to help out when I can.
Awesome. Well, there's a lot to unpack there, but I think you're a sheep hunter too, buddy. I think it's pretty safe to say that you're maybe not, you might be a less than oneer, but you're definitely a sheep hunter.
A sheep watcher, I think I'm at right now. I haven't hunted any officially, but I've watched a few of them in the woods now.
Well, what was your flying trip this fall then? Was that just a camping trip or what?
Oh, I guess it was a sheep hunt. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, nice try. You can put that off. And you've gone a few times now. So, and they always say that whole thing about the year you start hunting sheep is the year your sheep that you're going to kill is born, right? So typically it's 7, 8, 9 years before people get that first sheep. And I look at my track record. I think I got to go back to 2010 so that's 13 years ago, and I've got 2 sheep. So, I'm right on par for that 6.5, 7 years, right? So, yeah, it's pretty accurate, and yeah, really cool. So, let's start back to the early days then. How did obviously you said your old man got you into it? Were you in the bush with a 22 at the age of 5, or how did that work?
For first hunting trip, I think I was around 9, 10 years old with my dad. We went up into Loon Lake around Cache Creek there, hunting mule deer. And then from there, I kind of just hunted moose and mule deer most of my life with my father. And then one year I drew a goat tag, went hunt on a goat hunt with my buddy, and another buddy told me that the Sheep Society was putting something on at the Mission Rod and Gun Club. I went there, and Rob Weeks was there giving a presentation. Went there and saw the presentation, said, well, sheep hunting looks interesting, and then fell down that wormhole. The next year I applied for the Spatsizi draw. Of course, you get it because the odds are like 0.9 to 1 that year when I applied for it. So I got the Spatsizi draw, hiked in 20 kilometers, got onto some nice rams and some ewes on that hunt, which was actually pretty fun. Great experience. Learned a lot. Learned you got to have patience if you're going to be a sheep hunter. Don't spend all your time running around. Spend your time sitting down and watching. And then last year this year I went up with Peter on a wonderful adventure flew west out of Dees Lake there, and we spent 10 days up there looking around in the area that he pulled a ram out in 2014, and his hunting partner pulled a ram out in 2020. And we unfortunately didn't see too many rams, a couple of rams, some ewes, some caribou, no grizzly bears, thank God. I don't know. It's kind of been my journey for hunting basically right there. Just moose, mule deer, and been sheep a lot now, and haven't dabbled into elk or anything like that yet.
Cool. Well, we didn't really have an agenda to talk to, and we got lots of stuff to talk about, but we still got to hit the Ukraine, and there was that other. But before we get into those deeper topics, so you said this is your 3rd year sheep hunting. So the Spatsizi draw was 3 years ago, last year, that trip, and then this year. So this is your 3rd year.
Yeah, 3rd year, I guess.
So. Do you have the sheep bug? Is this something you're going to continue to do, or do you see yourself doing it for a few years? And if you're not successful, you're like, you'll probably do it again. But is it one of those things where I'd rather go kill a caribou or do something else? Or do you have a priority there?
No, I want a sheep. I definitely want to keep on hunting sheep for the rest of my life. It was actually going this year with Peter was kind of an interesting thing because he's 68 years old, and watching him do his final sheep hunt, he's like, this is my last hunt. And it's like, that's pretty interesting. Like, you don't have to go every single year. But if you just set it up, like maybe every 3 years you're going on that adventure and putting it out there, it's it's about being out in the mountains. It's about sitting out there, hanging out, hiding from the bugs, hiding from the wind, just hanging out and enjoying those beautiful views and relaxing. Like, it's not about, for me, my first hunt, it was like go, 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 pounding as hard as I could, looking as hard as we absolutely could for sheep. And then this last hunt with Peter, right off the get go, he says to me, he's like, this is a vacation as well as a hunt for me. And I know what that meant. My dad used to say that all the time when we go goose hunt. He's like, this is a vacation as well as a hunt. And it meant he's not going to be pounding it as hard as he absolutely can. He's not going to just go, 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 go. But it's also just sitting down and relaxing and watching and sitting on that mountaintop and just appreciating the beauty of Mother Nature when you're sitting up there. And that's one of the best things I've found about sheep hunting is when you're just in the middle of nowhere when you're up in the Cassiar staring at those beautiful mountains just go on and on and on and on. It's just like, how could you not want to do that for the rest of your life? How do you not want to see that when you're 68 years old?
Yeah, it's interesting. I just did a podcast with Mike Selden, our VP, and Mike, and it's going to anger some guys, and kind of angered me a little bit too. But it's sheep hunting is easy if you know where the sheep are because they're there every year. They go to the same spot.
Yep.
They're easy to kill generally. Like they got great eyesight, but if you're a little bit stealthy, you can catch up. Get on them. It's not like they're generally hiding in the trees. So generally, if you know where sheep are, the time of year and what range they're on, they're going to be there every year. You just need to go there and wait for them and wait for an opportunity, and then be smart enough and stealthy enough to get within 300, 400, or 500 yards, whatever probably not 500, but whatever you get close enough to take a shot, and that is true. But it's the finding those bloody things that's the hard part, right? And it's and that's why guys have these spots that are so coveted and everything. Now, for you, is there sort of a sense of like I need to kill one? Because some guys, and I kind of wonder like I've been fortunate to be I'm no longer less than one club guy, and I did get really lucky. I got a ram on my first year, which was shithouse luck, to be frank. But do you feel that you need to kill a ram? Do you feel like, when you're out there, because there's these mistakes being made, right? These young rams are getting shot. A lot of them, again, I just talked to some government officials, and there's young rams that are being underage, immature rams that are being harvested still. Do you feel that there's this pressure to kill something, or?
No. Not anymore. My very first hunt, I was like gung ho to try and find a ram, but I was set on like I was told to only shoot a full curl at that time, so I got on one ram that was actually pretty close. And then this last hunt here, there was no questioning about it. It was only going to be a ram if it was the right thing. I'm not going to be sitting there shooting an underage ram. I don't want to shoot a small ram. I'm going to make sure it's the right thing. I'm not going to be chasing after some little animal or anything like that. Sheep hunting is more of a fun sport. It's not, well, I guess it's not a fun, it's an adventure is what I see it as. It's a great adventure. You're not going out there to fill your freezer with a mountain of meat. We know that you're not going to get a ton of meat out of a sheep. You're going out for a great adventure, in my opinion. And you don't need to be coming home with your head hung low because you shot an underage ram. That's not the way to finish an adventure. You should be finishing it off happy, like I did my last hunt there. I've never been happier than my last hunt, and I came back empty-handed. It was incredible. Like, we had a great time, saw many sheep, saw caribou, no moose. We saw one grizzly on the drive up, but it was an absolutely amazing adventure, and that's what makes it the best. It's not killing the animal; it's the adventure itself. We flew in on a mall, and then we flew out on a beaver. Yeah. No, he's done. He was at the end of that trip. He's like, that was the one last trip to prove to myself that I could do it. But he's like, I don't need to do it anymore. He's like, my body is pretty beat up from that one. So he was happy. He was very content, and he was a great hunting partner to have as well. He's got one doll and one stone. Yeah, yeah, that's just the two. He didn't start hunting until like 20 years ago. Or no, in his 50s he started hunting them. Yeah, he's got a massive collection of them. He's a giant collector, but he's only got the two on the wall. Yeah, yeah. Mission Run Gun Club. I've been a member since I think I was about 8 years old or something like that. My dad got the family membership, and so I've always just shot there. It's been the place I've gone to about five, or actually the beginning of COVID. I was sitting there at one of the general members meetings, and then I guess the rifle chair had stepped down, and they needed somebody to step up to be the rifle chair, and nobody wanted to do it. And I was kind of pissed off at the state of the rifle range, so I said, "All right, I'll do it." I always complain about this place looking like a dump, so I took over the role as rifle chair and started fixing it up, painting it, cleaning up the rifle range, and all that. And met some great guys along the way there. Ron Newman, the co-chair, who's now the current rifle chair, an amazing guy. Him and I learned about that. We actually had a budget, so we started blowing the budget every year, trying to make the place look better and better and better and better. And then they came up with the wildlife chair position, and I basically got it. I ran against Chuck Zimmerman, and they actually appointed me over him, so I was pretty happy over that one. And since I've become the wildlife chair, we did the wild game banquet last year, which was a pretty good one. Greg, you came to it. I think the food that Peter cooked for us was pretty fantastic last year. And now there's just great rifle range. We're actually, I think, the largest membership-based range in Canada at 5,000 members currently. They've been around for over 100 years, or almost 100 years they've been there for now, or something around that, like 1924 or 23, I believe that place originally got started up in something like that. And it's great rifle range. They got 300-yard rifle range. They got the cowboy action. They got shotgun range, pistol range, skeet range. We got a brand new multi-gun range that's just waiting for approval from the CFO. And then we got the 3D archery range that takes almost an hour to walk through the entire thing. And then we got the 2D archery range. And there was just recent talk of putting in a 100-yard Olympic range in the next 5 to 10 years or something like that as well. Oh, we lose Kyle. Oh,
No, that's pretty awesome with all the different ranges and lots of great work going on at Mission. It's impressive what you guys are doing there. I know I was a member, but I took that move and not a member anymore. But I'll still support you guys if
and
there's
now
something going on.
Yeah, now we're just slowly expanding more programs, trying to get the kids and the youths involved. We got the Sculpins Fishing Club. They were out yesterday tying fishing lures and stuff like that with Brett and Brian Cummins' garage. They got what do we got? We had a children's youth program for shooting as well. We got kids coming out like once a month, and we got a bunch. I think they have like 30 children or 30 kids that they bring out now from like all different members and stuff like that. And they're just getting more and more and more youth involved in the programs there. We've got the Women Want to Shoot program, which we were talking about earlier there. Once a year, we put on that program. I think last year we had 90 ladies there over that one day and ran them through all the different disciplines. They all have a great time. Get to try the different, I listed all the different ranges there. What else do we do there? There's so much going on in that place. It's never ending, honestly.
So, Thomas, as I mentioned, I was at that Women Want to Shoot thing. My wife was she participated, loved it. It was pretty cool to see that and watch her, get a comfort level with the firearms. But the one takeaway that really blew me away is lots of times we quote preach to the choir. We bring our wives or we bring our daughters or kids or whatever or buddies, right? And the really cool thing about Mission was there was lots of local people from the community that had nothing to do with. So what's your recruitment process? Because I was talking to accountants that were, working in the office in town and, people that were working at the dealership, and all these women had never been involved with the club. They don't know anyone there. How do you guys solicit these people? How do you get them involved?
Word of mouth. That's honestly it
Wow.
was it. Just word of mouth. My wife came the year before. Next year she had 5 friends that came with her. It's just word of mouth. I got your wife out there. I can't believe it, but it's honestly just word of mouth and a little bit of or posting on Facebook, and they sell out 90 tickets within usually less than a week.
Well, the phenomenal thing is we always sit there and we talk about, losing social licenses hunters, right? And man, oh man, like if we want to make a difference, what you guys are doing there, that's moving the needle to me, because you've converted 90 women that are now they're passionate about it. Everyone loved it. Like there was not one woman where she was like, "Oh, I hate this," or everyone was smiling and they were like super. And some of them were. The thing that blew me away is that how bloody good they were. Like I remember, and I learned as a kid, and I've taught my kids, and I've always seen But I'll tell you, these women, they pick up the firearm, and the first couple, they'd be like, it'd be so foreign to them, they wouldn't even understand how to hold it. And within 10 rounds, they were like unbelievably accurate. It was freaky,
And
man.
every lady finds like a certain gun they like. There's always just like one that they pick up, and it's the one that's like, boom, that's the one, and they're just sitting there having so much fun. It's so interesting watching. And like you're saying, it's like people that have never touched a gun before in their lifetime or something, like, this is amazing. I've just had so much fun. And it's just like, boom, just one more one for the good guys. Right on. We got somebody else on our side.
Yeah, that's an impressive program, and I know you guys are doing it again this year. And you reached out to our Women's Shaping Conservation Chair, Rebecca, which is really exciting that we can be part of that. We're really grateful to partner with you guys on what you're doing there. So, one of the things you just talked about. Sorry, did you have anything you want to say about that?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things that you mentioned earlier was that game dinner that Greg came out for, and Peter was a professional chef by trade, wasn't he? That's what he did for a living.
Yeah, he was like an acclaimed chef. And the BC Winter Games in 2016, he was the executive chef that ran that, served like 1,500 people over 5 days. He was telling me when we were on our hunt, he used to be like one of the top executive chefs in British Columbia. And now he's just,
Wow.
hanging out in the mountains of Maple Ridge by himself.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
super cool. So that was a great event, and I think you guys donated a bunch of money. There was a bunch of proceeds from that came back to the society for our conservation work. What kind of inspired that, and how does the board get involved with that, and how do they, it's impressive what you guys are doing.
Peter and I were just talking one day, and I said the Mission Rod Gun Club needs to donate money to the Sheep Society. And he says, well, instead of just asking for money, let's just earn it. And I was like, how do you figure we did do that? And he's like, let's do a wild game dinner. That's a great idea. And I approached the board, and they said, go for it. Let's do this. And they let us do it. So we just round up a bunch of wild game from different people, and Peter cooked it all up. We spent a week cooking and prepping and getting everything all together and all organized and ready to go. And I was running back and forth from his house almost every second day, picking meat up that he'd prepped up and has marinating and everything like that. And then the day it all came together. It was fantastic.
Well, that's pretty impressive. And, it's such a privilege for us as a society when we can partner with, like-minded organizations. That's, and it's interesting. You guys are in the Lower Mainland, and, there's projects that obviously you could be supporting in your backyard. And to support a sheep project is pretty cool, to be, giving your conservation dollars for that. And I just think, like, what could we do as, more holistically across the landscape if we all kind of got together and we're working on the same project. And, we've got a handful of fish and game clubs, so I'll call them, that we work with, and you guys are one of them. And it's pretty inspiring when we see that kind of dedication and support. And it's always a dedicated member like yourself and Peter that are driving the bus on these things, which is really cool. And then they get the board buy-in, and it's really awesome to see that kind of support.
Yeah, that's what people need. We need more people to do it, right? If everybody steps up, if everybody works together, things will just get better. The landscape will get better. We'll see more sheep on the landscape if we all work together, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna get philosophical here with you now. So you're in the Lower Mainland. You're kind of in the bubble, that urban sphere, and the kind of the one that the votes, don't bode well for us when it comes to some of these wedge issues, like, for example, grizzly bears, for example, right? So, and you kind of live in the Mission area. You're in that local community there. I live in Victoria. Greg was in the Lower Mainland. So, the three of us are pretty well, I guess, well positioned to have an opinion on this. But there's this rural-urban divide, right, around hunting and about consumptive use and being on the landscape and even killing grizzly bears, which is topical right now with this whole grizzly bear engagement stuff going on. What are we doing good, and what can we do better? What do we have to change to be sort of do a better job to sort of look after the things that we love? Easy question, I know.
I just think image, honestly. I just think it's what people think. Like, a lot of people have this bad image of hunters for years. And I think if we just present a very good image of what we actually are, people that care, people that want to see more animals on the landscape. And if we teach people about how much we actually do care about the animals, that we're not just there to blast them and fill our freezers, I think it would really change a lot of people's opinions. A lot of my wife's friends, I have yoga instructors that I'll talk to, and they don't understand what we do and why we're out there. And I think if they actually understood us better and we educated everyone better about why we're doing this and what we're here for, I think it would change our image so much and we would get even more people on our side. I've talked to so many people. I've worked with people like, work in construction, you get a variety of people, and they really don't understand why it is you go out into the woods or what the reason for it is, and they don't understand conservation whatsoever. They don't understand that how much money hunters put towards conservation in the wild area of the landscape.
Do you think they care? Do you think if they knew that we put $15 million a year, the Wild Sheep Society of BC, which is mostly a hunter conservationist organization, puts $600,000-$800,000 on the ground for? Do you think they care? Or do you think that matters, or do they think they'd just be happy if we just weren't doing it?
Good question, actually. I'm not too sure. Some people, I heard one guy said once, it's like 10% of us are hunters, 10% are anti-hunters, 80% have no fucking clue what's going on. And it's that 80% that we need to win over. It's that 80% that we need to educate about why we're out here, why we love it, and why we're doing it. And once they understand, things will be better. Things will go better for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Mission does a darn good job of it. From what I've seen with that Women Want to Shoot thing, it was pretty impressive. We had the CCFR show up, or not we, you guys had the CCFR show up. Giltaca was there, which was impressive. And
they're coming again next year as well.
Are they?
Tracy Moore's coming out again. And I think that's her name. What the hell? Tracy Wilson. That's her name. Yeah, Tracy Wilson. She's coming out again. All the folks are coming out again. They said it was fantastic. They actually came back and said it was the best event they've seen across Canada for women.
Is that right? I tell you, I was impressed. That's the only one I've been to, so I got nothing to compare it to. But yeah, Rensmag, how about you? What's now that you've left the big smoke and you're living in you're hiding away up in George? What's your take on it? What can we do better? What do we have to do better? We look at Who Cares, One Campfire, these different programs, and we're trying to change hearts and minds. What are your thoughts on that?
I do agree with Thomas on the image.
Starling.
There's a divide that I still can't figure out how we can bridge, and it's a divide between hunters, and that saying that always bothers me to no end. And it's when you're talking to other hunters, it's like, oh, I don't hunt that, I don't care, and they don't see the bigger picture that once they take one, they're just going to keep coming back for more. And and hunters have a very, very poor tendency to just not show up, and we're going through that right now with this grizzly bear stewardship framework. And we're hearing reports of just dismal numbers again, and you hear rumors of less than a couple thousand when we have over 100,000 hunters. Like it's disturbing to me, and it's scary. It scares me to no end for what it might hold for the future and for our children and our children's children. Like, do we just keep giving in and not showing up? Or are we just going to keep losing our privilege to hunt? Like it's a tough one to get hunters to stand together, and I can't figure that out. It just blows me away.
You're very right, Greg. I noticed that a lot. I don't understand it either. It just seems like we don't want to all work together. Maybe it's because of, I don't want to tell you where my sheep spot is, right? So, I don't know. It's just always been like that with hunters. They don't seem to work that well together, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there, Thomas, in some regards about, not wanting to give your spot away, but there's a big difference between giving your spot away and writing in favor of, science-based wildlife management for grizzly bears and reinstating the hunt. I don't know. If I could, I'm not a waterfowler. I've hunted, birds before, but if there was a chance it was going to go away, I'll sure as hell stand up and fight for it. I don't quite understand that either. And you're right, Greg. We are. It's interesting. I did a podcast with Shockey a while back, and Shockey was saying that a politician told him outright. He goes, "We don't really care about the hunting contingent when it comes to votes because they don't vote anyway. They'd rather go out and just be in the bush and not even be around and care about these issues, right?" So it's and I don't think it's education. I think we do a pretty good job of educating. Maybe we're not doing it in the right spots. Maybe I think the social media thing works against us because there's a lot of, certainly I think some of our older hunters, they're just not on the internet. They're not on social media. They don't, subscribe to that sort of thing. But I also think the older hunters would be the ones that would be more engaged. They'd be more willing to get involved too, right, and stand up for some of these things as well. So, yeah.
It's interesting because the Raw and Gun Club, we had a general meeting on Monday, and I stood up there and given my wildlife report that I give at all the meetings there, and I brought up the grizzly bear stewardship program thing going on, and I just had blank stares looking at me. It looked like 70% of the room didn't even know what was going on. They had no clue. I had one guy the next morning emailed me and asked me for a link, and it's like, how do you guys not see this? But I think a lot of hunters aren't. A lot of the older ones just aren't even on social media either, so they don't see things like that going on. They don't know about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. People ask what they can do all the time, right? Oh, how do we get involved, or how do we do this, or how can we help? Well, there's simple, very basic things, and doing an online survey that takes 20 minutes is you'd say is probably the least you could do for conservation, and it is conservation. Like really, I think science-based wildlife management is at stake here. That's fear mongering, and I don't want to do that, but it's certainly, like, if you scratch the surface, it's more than just that bloody framework. Like, again, that, we've all talked about the framework. I'm sure you guys are pretty knowledgeable about it. I know Greg is because he's been involved in, with the society, and obviously you brought it up too, Thomas. So, but we sit there and, there are parts of that document that just are like, talk about ruling based on emotion and making decisions based on, social license or ethics or social values. And it's like, whatever happened to that, the North American wildlife model, right? It's just, and it really is under attack. And that I really feel that that's our chance to sort of advocate for that. And if we're not doing that as hunters, and that, and if that goes away, if it goes away with the grizzly bear, it's like you said, Greg, well, then it's mule deer, and then and all of a sudden it's something that you actually give a shit about, right? And the CCFR thing and the gun ban is no different, right? Like, that's just, just scratch the surface. Okay, well, it's only pistols. I don't have a pistol. I don't give a shit. It's like,
What happens next after the pistols gone?
You probably should care. You really should. Like, if you got a Weatherby Mark V, and again, I'm sort of, fear mongering here, but really the Weatherby Mark Vs are on that gun ban. Like, yeah, granted, it's some massive caliber and, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, it's still on there. And it's like, what's next? And you can guarantee the people that are, moving these agendas forward that we don't like, they're thinking about the next steps. I think we should be too. So I'm preaching to the masses here, but
yeah, they're planning. They got a very structured system, and they're planning well ahead, and they know what they're doing. Right? They've been attacking our hunting rights for a long time, and they're not screwing around either. You see a grizzly bear on the side of a bus driving down Vancouver, saying, "Why are we hunting these things? We got to protect them." That's good game. Good game.
have either of you guys gone to the Grizzly Bear Foundation website?
Never.
Just do me a favor. You don't need to do it now, but just go there. Just click. Just when you get off the call, or when you get a minute, just Google Grizzly Bear Foundation and click on it. And there's a beautiful, gorgeous blonde grizzly bear stewardship framework, and it's all about this. Like, you look at the society, you can find some of our stuff. Go to the BCWF, go to GeoABC. You'll find something on there. Go to the Grizzly Bear Foundation. Now, granted, it's grizzly bears, so if it was sheep, we might be more proactive too. But it's all over there, and then there's a survey on there. There's links to the engagement piece, and then there's also, these Act Now campaigns like we do, where you click the button and it emails all these MLAs and all that sort of stuff. And you click, they've got one there on there too, an Act Now campaign, effectively. And I checked yesterday when I did a 9. There you go. How many? 950 or something like that. So yeah, it's they're working hard, and good on them. They're beating us at that game for sure. And the least we could do is get involved. Anyway, off the soapbox. Let's switch subjects. Sorry, Greg, over to you.
Just since my involvement with the society, there's always been kind of this staple at a lot of the counts, and you seem to make the effort to come to the counts, and you're one of the guys that actually shows up to the remote Fraser counts between Lytton and Williams Lake there. Or
Those are
sorry,
fun ones.
Lillooet
There's
and
bears
Williams Lake.
everywhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah, something happened on your first count for this summer, and I was going to touch on that. You know, rolling in, I see some headlights, and there's nobody at the truck, and I'm wondering what the hell's going on. And heard
I
some
see a truck
yelling.
driving by, and I'm like, "Hey, there goes Greg." I'm gonna scream really loud at him right now as we were driving a black bear down the side of the mountain that we had just shot out of there. And yeah, we were driving up the hill, and I was sitting in the back seat with the boy because he needed some entertainment because he came along for the drive. So my coworker was driving the truck, and I see a black bear running up the hillside, so took off after him and got within about 30 yards, and I managed to drop him, and then we were dragging him down. We saw you.
Well, yeah, and you're going to a sheep count to check on lamb recruitment and see how they're doing, and you're doing your part to mitigate the hazard for them, so to speak.
Absolutely,
It's
he was carrying a fawn. He actually did have a deer fawn with him, so that was pretty entertaining or pretty interesting.
Yeah. Well, how old's your son? Because that's quite the experience for him.
2.5.
Yeah, and you drug him right up the mountain after the bear too.
Yeah, I took him right up there with me to see the bear afterwards. He got to go and take a look at it and pet it on the nose a little bit. I want to introduce him to it at a young age. He's been there for he's actually watched my wife shoot 2 bucks already now. He's sitting in the backpack for the first year when he was not even a year old and sitting in the back my backpack and watching my wife shoot a buck. And then last year when she shot her buck, he was sitting in the back seat of the truck, and he was sitting in the back seat of the truck again when we shot the moose. So he's actually been there for almost every animal that we've harvested in the last 2.5 years of his life. And it's interesting because he's starting to really enjoy it. And when you say on a Saturday, "Oh, and what do you want to do? Let's go hunting," and you're like, "Whoa, you're 2.5 years old and you want to go hunting? This is awesome. I'm doing something right now."
Yeah, so a question we commonly ask guests, and I'm going to be no different here, is that how important is it to you to raise them up in the outdoors and get them involved in hunting and fishing? Because you're always out there doing one or the other, and he's always by your side, and it's pretty cool to see.
Absolutely, it's 100% important. My dad did it for me, and I like it's at the time in your teen years you don't really appreciate it as much, and then as I got older and I suddenly learned to really appreciate it and see the beauty of nature, and I want my son to enjoy it. I think back to all the times I had with my dad helping him drag a moose out of the mountains and stuff like that when I was 13, 14 years old, carrying like quarters and throwing them onto quad size and watching the quads disappear into bogs and stuff like that. Those are memories you never forget. Like, there's so many amazing times that I've had with my dad hunting over the years, and I want my son to have all the same.
Yeah, no, that's important to learn what you do and live that life for sure. It's something he'll never forget. I still look back on memories as as far back as I can remember. I can't pinpoint how old I was, but I don't remember going on family vacations where we stayed in a hotel or anything. I remember hunting. I remember fishing. I remember sitting in the boat. Sitting in the middle of a mountain, just watching the sunset. Those are the ones that you remember forever, and it's life lessons that you can't learn anywhere else, but being out there and doing it, and
Getting to
it's
drive a
fun.
truck when you're 12 years old down a gravel road with your dad sitting in the passenger seat.
Yeah, I don't know. None of us do that, right? Or
Never.
did that. So when you're coming out, you're making those adventures because being from the Lower Mainland, those Fraser counts, we're quite a ways in there. Like you're 6 hours. Why is it important to you to get out there and you know be part of that family that we're out there and we're checking on the lambs?
Well, I want to hang out with you, Greg, obviously. It's my way of helping. It's like it's one way that we can really help out, honestly. Like we go out there, we can get some numbers and we can report these numbers to the biologist. We're actually doing something. Like we know that the biologists don't have the budget to do that themselves. And us going out there and giving a hand, like we're doing something. We're actually making a difference and we're really helping them out. And like I don't know any other ways that I really can. So like, when you say, "Tom, we're going out this weekend," it's like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah, you're kind of one of the go-to guys. I always make sure I message privately too. It's like, hey, another count coming up. Let's go.
Yeah, they're
Cause
fun too. It's just a good
yeah,
time. You get to explore new areas. It's fun. I really enjoy the counts. They're a great time.
yeah. No, and like you say too, if it's crucial to the sheep. We can report back numbers. We can let them know if their treatments didn't go well, and we know pretty quick. The past few years we've been losing a couple of counts due to fires and other issues, but those we get those first couple of counts in, and by that July count when you can still see good numbers, you know it's doing okay. They'll go back in the winter and fly over, and they'll see the real numbers at the end of the year when they do a flyover in the winter and they're all sitting on the river. But what we've seen this year and the past couple of years it's been pretty positive, and it's fun to be a part of, and it's good having guys like you out that dedicate their time to come out there, because there's not very many guys that do it, and it's really appreciated when you're out there.
We need to get more guys coming out. They're really missing out, honestly. People are it's just too much fun. It really is. Like we should. I can't understand why people aren't coming. Honestly, it's a great time to go out there and do it.
Yeah. So when you're in the back country, are you plotting your next sheep hunt? You thinking about the next one while we're out there, or when we're out there staring at sheep, we got a lot of time to think.
Oh, yeah. You're thinking, where am I going next? What's going to be happening next? Or how am I going to explain how I'm going to be away for an extra day to the wife?
Well, I seem to remember your wife was out there really pregnant at one of the counts.
Yeah.
In 40-degree weather along the river. She
came and she had a good time, though.
Oh, that's awesome.
You had to introduce someone at a young age, right?
Yeah, it's always good to have the families out, and it's kid friendly, except for when we get those heat blasts on along there. Make sure your air conditioning is working. For the most part, those counts are truck friendly, so it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So when you went in on your sheep hunt, or what you tried to call not a sheep hunt, I don't know what that was about. Kyle called you out on your bluff there, but no, that was your second kind of real fly in, go after them. What's lessons you learn in here? Because there's every time you go, you learn a good lesson, and I want to know what a little bit of advice from Mr. Madsen from his last one. It's a deep one. I'm sorry.
I know. You're making me think hard here, buddy. It's really hard to say. Honestly, it's patience. It's just patience. The more you move, the less you see. The more you can just sit still and just find a good glassing point, just relax and just calm down and just hang out and just get comfortable that you're going to be cold. Find a pile of willow brush to hang out beside and stay out of the wind and just stay patient. Just stay positive. If your mindset goes negative, it kills the hunt. As soon as you get negative, as soon as you get grumpy, as soon as you get upset that you're not seeing animals, your hunt's done and you're going to find excuses to not want to be there. If you're going to work hard and just stay patient and just stay positive the whole way through and not get negative, the hunt's going to go a lot better for yourself and you're going to have a lot better time.
Yeah, those are words of wisdom. The mindset is numero uno while you're out there, that's for sure.
Hey, Thomas, I'm curious, does that perspective come from having hunted with Peter, or and his wisdom and his experience, or is that something you figured out after your first hunt and your second hunt and your third hunt? Like, was it something self-taught, or was it like something that you had that mentorship piece?
Both of them, actually. My first sheep hunt, we got onto some rams very early on in the hunt, and then I was impatient. We started bouncing around, hiking, and just ended up going through hell for absolutely no reason. Where if we had stayed still, we probably would have actually found some more rams. Second hunt, same thing again. We were just bouncing around, driving everywhere. We drove up into the Cassiars looking around, and we just had no patience, and the hunt ended up being a complete waste of time. And this last hunt with Peter, I just took my time. I was relaxed. I had no stress on myself. I went onto this hunt without the plan of killing a ram, honestly. The hunt was all for Peter. I'm like, if we see a ram and he's on there, it's going to be his ram unless I'm off by myself and I see one. So I honestly went into that hunt. We were not really expecting to get one for myself. And I think it took all the pressure off and it made it a lot more enjoyable of a hunt going that way. And then I was able just to sit back, relax, just get up in the morning, go do my thing, and not feel the giant stress that I have to be pounding the ground and going crazy the whole way through. It just made it a lot more enjoyable hunt.
Sounds like some pretty sage advice.
I've only been doing it for 3 years. I don't know what I'm doing. I just know how not to get frustrated.
So what's your next hunt? Are you gonna go for stones again, or are you going for? You got something else planned? What are you doing? Are you? Do you have any other plans this fall?
Yeah, I got a week off the first week of October. We're going moose hunting. We pull a draw for 317. Thanks for the pins, Greg. And then all of November, every weekend, I'll be hunting mule deer. That's one of my biggest passions is actually hunting mule deer. I absolutely love them. And yeah, and then next year, I'm not too sure. I haven't figured out next year's hunts yet, but that's for the rest of this season at least.
So for mule deer, is that local stuff, like in kind of the eastern Lower Mainland, or do you drive up into the interior, or where do you like?
Well, I had a couple cameras up for some local blacktails until someone stole one 2 weeks ago, I guess. We went and checked it and some jackass stole one of my cameras, but we got a few nice bucks on camera locally. And then I do a lot of mule deer hunting up in the Cache Creek area.
Okay, nice, yeah, awesome, cool.
How about yourself?
Oh, I still got a dull sheep draw. I got to do something with that. So I'm kind of got a hankering to go chase some dull sheep, I think. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but yeah.
How long is your tag good for?
I think I don't know, actually. I haven't looked that closely. I think it's October 15th, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't even know the dates on it, to be honest with you. I know when it opened, that's for sure. But I don't know exactly when it closed. I think it's October 15th, but yeah, good question.
You go chase some winter coats?
Yeah, it would be awesome for sure. Yeah,
that would be something special.
Yeah.
You outed me there a little bit, Thomas, about saying where your moose draw is. Might have some angry people at you.
I didn't say what area. I just said thanks for the pins, Greg.
Oh, yeah. I've had a lot of people trying to pull them out of me, so
they can get mad at me. That's fine.
Yeah, there'll be fist fights later on if I come back down there to visit. What's the ultimate goal for you when it comes to hunting? Is there a be all end all? What's your apex? What you shooting for? Is it just
mankind?
Chasing the big mankind.
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't really ever had an apex or anything like that. Like the BC slam would be nice, but yeah, I don't really know. Honestly, I would like to shoot a grizzly bear one day. My dad got one. It's a tank. It completely covers a queen size bed, and it'd be pretty cool to have one like that one day as well.
So is that your call to action for people to comment on the framework?
Absolutely.
Thomas needs a bear, so let's.
Yeah, I need another grizzly bear. I got enough black bears.
Yeah, everyone needs to go fill out the framework. So, if there was one animal, I know your hunting career is still young. You're still a young guy. If there's one animal you had to pick to chase the rest of your life, what's that hunt? What is it? What hunt gets you going in the morning?
Just one animal the rest of my life. That's it. It's all I get to hunt. Only one.
Yeah.
Mule deer.
You can shoot as many as you want, but
honestly, just like old mule deer, because they just get so wise. They're just like this mythical sage animal that once they get over 4 or 5 years old, they get so smart. They barely move. They just hang out way in the thick brush. Some of them don't even come down for the rut. They get so wise and intelligent that it's just I don't know. There's something about watching them. They're a really cool animal to go out and chase after, and I really, really love them. It's also the terrain they live in, how they live in such a wide variety of terrain. Like sheep hunting is incredible, but there's something that I've always just really, really, really enjoyed about hunting mule deer, and I think they're just an amazing animal to chase after.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Mount mule deer is one of my favorite, if not my favorite animal to hunt. Like you say, when they get older, they get wise, and a lot of those big boys don't come down for the rut. They stay up high. And I'm a firm believer, and my old man's always instilled it into me that every mountain has its king, and you got to find him.
And they're not stupid. When they get old, they're such a smart animal, and it's really fun chasing after them.
Yeah.
Robbie Denny, he'll spend like 2 weeks out of a year just scouting to go after mule deer. Like that's a lot of work.
Yeah, no, I was the same before the kids got into sports, and I do have pictures to prove it too. Did a lot of scouting and would spend weeks in the summer every weekend out there, even going as far as Boston Bar after work to go check cameras when I was younger. and then come back and go to work the next day. Spend 6 hours on the road and hiking, and get back down, get home midnight, and do it all over
Yeah.
again the next week.
Every single weekend in Cache Creek up until I had a son, honestly, it was every weekend in hunting season. I'd just be dripping up there and just pounding the woods every night, day after day after day after day. It was just the best time. It's still amazing to do it. Family's obviously incredible, but it's just, there's something about chasing mule deer. It's really interesting.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. Well, I don't know. That's about all I got for Mr. Madsen. Kyle, you got a little extra?
No, I think we knocked that one on the head. But buddy, I appreciate everything that you do. Mission and District Rod and Gun Club is such a great partner with the society, and it's really cool to see conservation-minded organizations and to do the collaboration. That's one of our favorites. We'd love to spread the wealth and work with people and do matches where we can and stuff like that. And it's really cool that. And again, there's always that champion, right? There's always the Thomas and the Peter that are sort of, moving things along. And without you guys doing it, somebody else gets noticed. And anyway, we're passionate about wild sheep. We're super grateful. And, I always see you and Peter at all our events. It makes me happy. It warms my heart. So it's really cool. And honestly, dude, super grateful for everything that you do and everything that Mission does to support all the things that are important to me personally. And yeah, really cool. Love it.
Appreciate it. It's great organization you have going there, Kyle. We enjoy helping out, and it's helping a good cause.
It's awesome. You're going to have to turn it off, buddy. It switched control to you, Greg, somehow. So.
Uh-oh. So
I've
just
lost
keep
control.
talking and kill it.
Or maybe Thomas has it. I don't know. Do you guys have a stop button there?
I do not.
Bottom, right at the bottom. Does it say? Is there a recording button there?
No.
Oh, does that work? No, I got a stop button. It's not doing anything.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, I don't know who the show manager is.
Neither do I.
Let me see here. Figure it out. It so for some reason when I was doing my thing, it just stopped. Like my program stopped responding.
That's what mine did earlier when I disappeared.
So all three of us are guests. So there is no manager. I guess it records for perpetuity. I guess we'll just have to drop off. Yeah, I can't even. Can you guys leave session?
I can't even leave session. Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awkward.
How you doing, big guy?
Oh, they're still recording. They're still recording. Oh, man. Oh, this is weird. This has never happened.
What are you doing? What's your hunt coming up, buddy?
I leave Sunday.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Sheep?
driving.
Caribou?
Chasing caribou's the main focus. Trying to get my old man. My old man and brother haven't got one. And Steve's coming with us. He hasn't got one.